BDE. Big Dick Energy.
In the first room of the network security module, we focused on passive reconnaissance. In this second room, we focus on active reconnaissance and the essential tools related to it. We learn to use a web browser to collect more information about our target. Moreover, we discuss using simple tools such as ping, traceroute, telnet, and ANSI to gather information about the network, system, and services. As we learned in the previous room, passive reconnaissance lets you gather information about your target without any kind of direct engagement or connection. You are watching from afar or checking publicly available information.
Uh-huh.
Active reconnaissance requires you to make some kind of contact with your target. This contact can be a phone call or a visit to the target company under some pretense to gather more information, usually as part of social engineering. Alternatively, it can be a direct connection to the target system, whether visiting their website or checking if their firewall has an SSH port open. Think of it like you are closely inspecting windows and door locks. Hence, it is essential to remember not to engage in active reconnaissance work before getting signed legal authorization from the client. In this room, we focus on active reconnaissance. Active reconnaissance begins with direct connections made to the target machine. Any such connection might leave information in the log showing the client IP address, time of the connection, and duration of the connection, among other things. However, not all connections are suspicious. It is possible to let your active reconnaissance appear as regular client activity. Consider web browsing. No one would suspect a browser connected to a target web server among hundreds of other legitimate users. You can use such techniques to your advantage when working as part of the red team, attackers, and don't want to alarm the blue team, defenders. In this room, we go through various tools commonly bundled with most operating systems or easily obtainable. We begin with the web browser and its built-in developer tools. Furthermore, we show you how a web browser can be armed to become an efficient reconnaissance framework. Afterwards, we discuss other benign tools such as ping, traceroute, and telnet. All these programs require connection to the target, and hence our activities would fall under active reconnaissance. This room is of interest to anyone who wants to become familiar with essential tools and see how they can use them in active reconnaissance. The web browser developer tools might take some effort to gain familiarity, although it offers a graphical user interface. The command line tools covered are relatively straightforward to use. Important notice: please note that if the web browser can be a convenient tool, especially that it is readily available on all systems. There are several ways where you can use a web browser to
I don't remember the name of the tool.
gather information about the target. On
Of course. What was the extension? I don't remember. What the fuck is the extension? What the fuck ever. I guess it's called Read Aloud, a Texas speech voice reader. I was say, why can't it pop shit up? Read Aloud. Yeah, that's what it is. Fuck, where was I at? The web browser can be a convenient tool of lesser ways. I don't remember. No, I'm fucking tired. I just want to get this lesson over with.
On the transport level, the browser connects to TCP port 80 by default when the website is accessed over HTTP TCP port 443 by default when the website is accessed over HTTP.
It kind of sucks when it starts anything technical. It starts saying it too fast and shit. Whatever.
The Sense 80 and 443 are default ports for HTTP and HTTPS. The web browser does not show them in the address bar. However, it is possible to use custom ports to access a service. For instance, HTTP URL will connect to 127.
Local host at port 8834 because they're using porting out via HTTPS. Because HTTPS. If there is an HTTPS server listing on the port, it will receive a web page. Blah blah blah.
While browsing a web page, you can press Ctrl plus Shift plus I on a PC or Option plus Command plus I plus I on a Mac to open the developer tools on Firefox. Similar shortcuts will also get.
Why is it trying to take a screenshot with my fucking Control Shift I? My fucking GPU is trying to take a screenshot. Of course, you can't see it because it's fucking hand. Let's go. I won't even see it if I do this. Alright, let's try it again. Does it pop up? No, it doesn't. You can't see it. It's only on my GPU. That's crazy. I'm tired. I'm not even streaming on YouTube? Oh, I am streaming on YouTube. Boom. Alright. On a PC or Option plus Command I. On a Mac to open the developer tools on Firefox.
Similar shortcuts will also get you started with Google Chrome or Chromium. Developer Tools lets you inspect many things that your browser has received and exchanged with the remote server. For instance, you can view and even modify the JavaScript, JS, files, inspect the cookies set on your system and discover the folder structure of the site content. Below is a screenshot of Firefox Developer Tools. Chrome DevTools is quite similar.
I already forgot to mess with cookies. Oh, there's the cookies. Why does that look different? Oh, it's Firefox. Inspector. What's I forgot. What is Google Chrome's version of Inspector? Chrome's version of Inspector. Is there Inspector? Oh, whatever. I always get lost and I always get sidetracked. Here, close this for now. Yep, that looks about right.
There are also plenty of add-ons for Firefox and Chrome that can help in penetration testing. Here are a few examples. Foxy Proxy lets you quickly change the proxy server you are using to access the target website. This browser extension is convenient when you are using a tool such as Burp Suite or if you need to switch proxy servers regularly. You can get Foxy Proxy for Firefox from here. User Agent Switcher and Manager gives you the ability to pretend to be accessing the web page from a different operating system or different web browser. In other words, you can pretend to be browsing a site using an iPhone when in fact, you are accessing it from Mozilla Firefox. You can download User Agent Switcher and Manager for Firefox here. Wapalizer.
That's kind of fucking cool. Hang on, I wonder if they got that for Chrome. I think that is kind of cool. I didn't know that was a thing. I never thought of something like that. That is pretty cool. Boom, add that motherfucker. That's cool. Whatever. That is fucking cool. I can make it. Let's make it a Windows phone. Not all tabs, just one tab. Fuck. Never mind. Let's not do that right now. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that was a thing. Wappalizer. What's that do again?
Wappalizer provides insights about the technologies used on the visited websites. Such extension is handy, primarily when you collect all this information while browsing the website like any other user. A screenshot of Wappalizer is shown below. You can find Wappalizer for Firefox here.
The following website. What's it asking me? Located JavaScript, the JavaScript file script.js. Okay. I forgot how to do this on Chrome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many? There's 8 questions. You gave me a code. Okay, whatever.
Ping should remind you of the game ping pong, table tennis. You throw the ball and expect to get it back. The primary purpose of ping is to check whether you can reach the remote system and that the remote system can reach you back. In other words, initially, this was used to check network connectivity. However, we are more interested in its different use.
He said, hey, this is less robot-like. Alright. Natural reader. Yeah, because it used to sound better, you know? It used to sound better. Just try this thing out. It's a natural reader. Is it a Chrome extension? Let's see. That thing, because it's fucking, it sounds like shit now. It's annoying the shit out of me. I just happened to check Discord. I don't even have, what's the odds of that? Why is my Discord not on? I didn't even realize my Discord is not even on. Didn't even realize it. Didn't even realize it. Thanks. Going to try it out. Unless you're still watching. I don't know. Alright, let's try it. Natural reader. Let's try that one. Now. Let's see. Let's set it up. They sound like
Newton's first law of motion, also known as the law of inertia.
He couldn't help but smile as he watched the sun
damn
rise
girl.
over the horizon.
What's up, baby?
I can't believe we actually did it.
Newton's first law of motion, also known as the law of...
Newton's first law of motion, also known as the... I can't believe we actually did it.
Today, the government announced new economic... I can't believe we actually did it.
Today, the government announced new economic...
I can't believe we actually did it. The project is finally complete, and it turned out better than I could have.
I can't believe we actually did it. The project is final.
I can't believe we actually did it.
I want to sound like a teacher.
Dear team, I hope this email finds you well.
Dear team,
I hope this email finds you well. I wanted to remind everyone that the deadline...
I can't believe we actually. Dear team, I hope this.
Newton's first. I can't believe we actually did it.
That's AI.
Today, the government announced new economic measures aimed at boosting.
Fuck, we'll try that one. Come on. Motherfucker. Register. No, I don't want to register. I just want to use the motherfucker. How does this work? Is it the same way? Can I just do that?
In simple terms,
Alright,
the
that's
ping
cool.
command sends a packet to a remote system, and the remote system
It's gotta
replies.
sound right, you know what I mean?
This way, you can conclude that the remote system is online, and that the network is working between the two S.
Alright, whatever. Just redo it. Restart it.
Ping should remind you of the game ping
That sounds
pong
better.
table tennis. You throw the ball and expect to get it back. The primary purpose of ping is to check whether you can reach the remote system, and that the remote system can reach you back. In other words,
I'll mess with the settings
initially,
later.
this was used to check network connectivity. However, we are more interested in its different uses, checking whether the remote system is online. In simple terms, the ping command sends a packet to a remote system, and the
And it should
remote
remind
system
you of
replies.
Oh my
game.
god.
This way, you can conclude that the
Now, what's the... I see, when I like, there's a hotkey I could pause the thing on. Hang on. That's not what I'm looking for. Settings. I'm on dark mode. I don't know. I'm sure there's a setting. I don't know how to get to the settings. I was just in the goddamn settings. I was just in that motherfucker. Oh, I don't want to add it again. Failed to connect to server. What the fuck? What do you mean failed to connect to server? Every time that happens, you have to do this. Let's get those motherfuckers. Get this thing's right there. That's annoying me. Yeah, it ain't my internet. Whatever, we'll just finish reading it.
In simple terms, the ping command sends a packet to a remote system, and the remote system replies. This way, you can conclude that the remote system is online, and that the network is working between the two systems. If you prefer a pickier definition, the ping is a command that sends an ICMP echo packet to a remote system. If the remote system is online, and the ping packet was correctly routed and not blocked by any firewall, the remote system should send back an ICMP echo reply.
Yup.
Similarly, the ping reply should reach the first system if appropriately routed and not blocked by any firewall. The objective of such a command is to ensure that the target system is online before we spend time carrying out more detailed scans to discover the running operating system and services. On your attack box terminal, you can start to use ping as ping 10.201.32.228 or ping hostname. In the latter, the system needs to resolve hostname to an IP address before sending the ping packet. If you don't specify the count on a Linux system, you will need to hit Ctrl+C to force it to stop.
Yup, that's true.
Hence, you might consider ping C 10.10.201.32.228
I like how it actually says the whole
if you
IP.
just want to send 10 packets. This is equivalent to ping in 10.10.201.32.228 on a
That's how
MS
you do it.
Windows system.
I was wondering how to do it on fucking
Technically
on
speaking,
Windows.
Ping falls under the protocol ICMP, Internet Control Message Protocol. ICMP supports many types of queries, but in particular, we are interested in ping, ICMP echo type 8, and ping reply, ICMP echo reply type 0. Getting into ICMP details is not required to use.
I wish there was a hotkey to fucking. Is there? There we go. It's Alt P. Okay. Oh, so there's gotta be a hotkey. Dark? Maybe it needs to be dark? I don't know.
Ping should remind you of the game ping pong, table tennis.
I think the problem is it's the same hotkey. Hotkeys. Pause, resume, Alt P. I think the problem with that is it's this one, the other one's still active.
You throw.
You motherfucker. That's supposed to do the same thing too. Shortcut keys. It ain't set. Okay, here. Alt set, play, pause. Alt P. Alt P. Damn it, you motherfucker. Alt P. And stop. Alt P. No, hand. Pause. There we go. You motherfucker. Alt P. Alright, now let's try it. Alright, here.
On your attack box. On your attack.
There we go. Yup, there we go. You sent settings on Discord. Let me see. Oh yeah, I figured it out. Yep. As soon as you sent it. Yup. I don't even know how to use Discord that much. All right, let's get. I'm ready to get this lesson over with. I'm fucking bullshitting on it. Fuck. Let's ping something because it wants me to ping it so bad. Well, first I wonder if I can open it up. Let's see where it goes to. You motherfucker. Yup, it's there. That's totally fucking there. I should just use my Kali VPN, my Kali machine, and just use the VPN. But every time I do it, sometimes it fucks up the stream for some reason. I don't know why. I want to see what is this a web page at all? Telnet to port 80. Oh, I guess jumping ahead. I wonder if I can just do that though. Here. No. All right. Yep, I pinged it. Whatever.
In the example above, we saw clearly that the target system is responding. The ping output is an indicator that it is online and reachable. We have transmitted 5 packets, and we received 5 replies. We noticed that, on average, it took 0.475 millisecond for the reply to reach our system, with the maximum being 0.636 milliseconds. From a penetration testing point of view, we will try to discover more about this target. We will try to learn as much as possible. For example, which ports are open and which services are running. Let's consider the following case. We shut down the target virtual machine and then tried to ping 10.201.32.22.
Yeah, nothing happens. I know. Makes sense. I understand how ping works.
In this case, we already know that we have shut down the target computer that has 10.201.32.228.
Whatever.
For each ping, the system we are using, AttackBox in this case, is responding with destination host unreachable. We can see that we have transmitted 5 packets, but none was received, resulting in a 100% packet loss. Generally speaking, when we don't get a ping reply back, there are a few explanations that would explain why we didn't get a ping reply. For example, the destination computer is not responsive, possibly still booting up or turned off, or the OS is crashed.
Yup, that's right.
It is unplugged from the network, or there is a faulty network device across the path.
Why is that bitch voice changing?
A firewall is configured to block such packets. The firewall might be a piece of software running on the system itself or a separate network appliance. Note that MS Windows Firewall blocks ping by default. Your system is unplugged from the network.
You have reached the day limit of paid voices. I didn't know there was fucking paid voices, you motherfucker. They're all AI. Which one's not paid? How do I know if they're paid or not? Give me Derek.
Active Reconnaissance. Learn how to use simple tools such as traceroute, ping, telnet, and a web browser to get. Learn how to use.
Those are all paid.
Learn how to use simple tools such as traceroute, ping, telnet, and a web browser to gather information.
Yeah, that bitch.
Easy. 60 minutes. 169,878. Ping should remind you of the game ping pong, table tennis. You throw the ball. The firewall might be a.
What? Stop talking. Yeah, we found the flaw. Now, might as well go back to the robot voice now. Alright, whatever it is. Unplug from network, blah, blah, blah. Firewall is configured to block such packets. The firewall might be a piece of software running in the system itself and a separate network appliance. Note that Microsoft Windows Firewall blocks pings by default. Did it? I don't think it does. Does it?
A firewall is configured to block such.
I'm not fucking telling you to talk. Your system is unplugged from the network. What option would you use to set the size of the data carried by the? Is it not? I did dash. Is it not that? Is it not dash n? I'm going too fast. Use the man ping. What? Whatever. Is it not dash C or dash N? The size of the data? On Linux-S. So it's quicker just to Google it. What is the size of the INCMP header in bytes? That is, what was it? I used to know this. Is it not 8? Yeah. Does Microsoft Windows Firewall block ping by default? Yes. Deploy the VM for this task and using the attack box terminal. Issue the command, blah, blah, blah. How many ping replies did you get back? 10, because you fucking typed 10. Dumbass. Alright. Traceroute.
As the name suggests, the traceroute command traces the route taken by the packets from your system to another host. The purpose of a traceroute is to find the IP addresses of the routers or hops that a packet traverses as it goes from your system to a target host. This command also reveals the number of routers between the two systems. It is helpful as it indicates the number of hops, routers, between your system and the target host. However, note that the route taken by the packets might change as many routers use dynamic routing protocols that adapt to network changes. On Linux and Mac OS, the command to use is traceroute 10.201.32.228, and on MS Windows, it is tracer 10.201.32.228. Traceroute tries to discover the routers across the path from your system to the target system. There is no
one hop.
There is no direct way to discover the path from your system to a target system.
I gotta see what you're talking about. Hang on, I do like it. So what do you do? Alright. There's no direct way. Kind of got fart or poop.
There is no direct way to discover the path from your system to a target system. We rely on ICMP to trick the routers into revealing their IP addresses. We can accomplish this by using a small time to live (TTL) in the IP header field. Although the T in TTL stands for time, TTL indicates the maximum number of routers hops that a packet can pass through before being dropped. TTL is not a maximum number of time units. When a router receives a packet, it decrements the TTL by 1 before passing it to the next router. The following figure shows that each time the IP packet passes through a router, its TTL value is decremented by 1. Initially, it leaves the system with a TTL value of 64. It reaches the target system with a TTL value of 60 after passing through 4 routers.
I thought it takes more than just one, so it decrements it by 1. So if it does more than 64 fucking hops, Jesus. Yeah, makes sense.
Active reconnaissance. However,
it's not doing a very good job.
However, if the TTL reaches 0, the first router on the path decrements the TTL by 1, resulting in a TTL of 0. Consequently, note that some routers are configured not to send such ICMP messages when discarding a packet. On Linux, traceroute will start by sending UDP datagrams with an IP.
Hang on, this fucking thing's trying to scroll and shit for me. You motherfucker.
On Linux,
It sure ain't doing too good. Alright, quit fucking with me.
On Linux, traceroute will start by sending UDP datagram.
Oh my god.
However, if the TTL reaches 0, it will be dropped, and an ICMP time to live exceeded would be sent to the original sender. In the following figure, the system set TTL to 1 before sending it to the router. The first router on the path decrements the TTL by 1, resulting in a TTL of 0. Consequently, this router will Read Aloud is a Chrome and Firefox extension that uses text-to-speech technology to convert
Showing text highlight. How do we just show it periodly? Let's see.
chess 0, it will be dropped, and an ICMP time to live exceeded would be sent to the original sender. In the following figure, the system set TTL to 1 before sending it to the router. However, if the TTL reaches 0, it will be dropped, and an ICMP time to live exceeded would be sent to the original sender. In the following figure, the system set TTL to 1 before sending it to the router. The first router on the path decrements the TTL by 1, resulting in a TTL of 0. Consequently, this router will discard the packet and send an ICMP time exceeded in transit error message. Note that some routers are configured not to send such ICMP messages when discarding a packet. On Linux, traceroute will start by sending UDP datagrams within IP packets of TTL being 1. Thus, it causes the first router to encounter a TTL equals 0 and send an ICMP time to live exceeded back. Hence, a TTL of 1 will reveal the IP address of the first router to you. Then it will send another packet with TTL equals 2. This packet will be dropped at the second router.
I'm gonna change that hotkey back.
On Linux, traceroute will start by sending UDP datagrams within IP packets of TTL being 1. Thus, it causes the first router to encounter a TTL equals 0 and send an ICMP time to live exceeded back. Hence, a TTL of 1 will reveal the IP address of the first router to you. Then it will send another packet with TTL equals 2. This packet will be dropped at the second router. And so on. Let's try this on live systems. In the following examples, we run the same command, traceroute tryhackme.com from TryHackMe's attack box. We notice that different runs might lead to different routes taken by the packets. Traceroute A.
I don't see no time to live anywhere, and that's what confused me.
In the traceroute output above, we have 14 numbered lines. Each line represents one router, hop. Our system sends 3 packets with TTL set to 1, then 3.
This thing won't fucking... Why won't it go away? It's crashed.
In the traceroute output above, we have 14 numbered lines. Each line represents one router, hop. Our system sends 3 packets with TTL set to 1.
Just girly things. I'm so tired. Let's get. Ooh, not proxy.
In the tracer route output above, we have 14 numbered lines. Each line represents one router, POP. Our system sends 3 packets with TTL set to 1, then 3 packets with TTL set to 2, and so forth. Depending on the network topology, we might get replies from up to 3 different routers, depending on the route taken by the packet. Consider line number 12.
Hang on. Line number 12.
Consider line number 12. The 12th router with the listed IP address has dropped the packet 3 times and sent an ICMP time exceeded in transit message. The line 1299.83.69.207, 99.83.69.207, 17.603 ms, 15.827 ms, 17.351 ms shows the time in milliseconds for each reply to reach our.
Why ain't it stopping? You can see that we received only some. I'm not understanding it. Let's ask ChatGPT. one per probe. That's what I was trying to understand. Excellent question. One missing. Okay. Thanks, homie. That's dope. What? That's fucking damn, dude. ChatGPT is dope. Huh. Alright. That was a lot to understand. But I got it. Traceroute was a lot more than I thought it would be.
In the second run of the traceroute program, we noticed that the packets took a longer route this time, passing through 26 routers. If you are running a traceroute to a system within your network, the route will be unlikely to change. However, we cannot expect the route to remain fixed when the packets need to go via other routers outside our network. To summarize, we can notice the following. The number of hops, routers between your system and the target system depends on the time you are running traceroute. There is no guarantee that your packets will always follow the same route. Even in the second run of the traceroute program, we noticed that the packets took a longer route this time, passing through 26 routers. If you are running a traceroute to a system within your network, the route will be unlikely to change. However, we cannot expect the route to remain fixed when the packets need to go via other routers outside our network. To summarize, we can notice the following. The number of hops, routers between your system and the target system depends on the time you are running traceroute. There is no guarantee that your packets will always follow the same route. Even if you are on the same network or you repeat the traceroute command within a short time, some routers return a public IP address. You might examine a few of these routers based on the scope of the intended penetration testing. Some routers don't return a reply.
many routers are between the two systems? What do you mean? Yeah, 8. Well. Huh. Well, one of those that they're smartwatches. Alright, Telnet. Why was traceroute such a long lesson? I feel like it was a lot longer than I actually got sucked into the lesson. Alright, Telnet.
The Telnet, teletype network, protocol was developed in 1969 to communicate with a remote system via a command line interface, CLI. Hence, the command Telnet uses the Telnet protocol for remote administration. The default port.
Let's see. Telnet to port 80. How do I forgot the Telnet. I want to use Telnet to connect. Oh! Telnet. That's what I thought. I have to put a space to see Telnet. Apache. Two, 4, 61, Debian. Alright, hands. I jumped way ahead.
The Telnet, teletype network, protocol was developed in 1969 to communicate with a remote system via a command line interface, CLI. Hence, the command Telnet uses the Telnet protocol for remote administration. The default port used by Telnet is 23. From a security perspective, Telnet sends all the data, including usernames and passwords, and clear text. Sending in klartext makes it easy for anyone who has access to the communication channel to steal the login credentials. The secure alternative is SSH, Secure Shell Protocol. However, the Telnet client, with its simplicity, can be used for other purposes. Knowing that Telnet client relies on the TCP protocol, you can use Telnet to connect to any service and grab its banner. Using Telnet 10.201.32.228 port, you can connect to any service running on TCP and even exchange a few messages unless it uses encryption. Let's say we want to discover more information about a web server listening on port 80. We connect to the server at port 80, and then we communicate using the HTTP protocol. You don't need to dive into the HTTP protocol.
Okay, let's try that.
Let's say we want to discover more information about a web server listening on port 80. We connect to the server at port 80, and then we communicate using the HTTP protocol. You don't need to dive into the HTTP protocol, you just need to issue get/http/1.1. To specify something other than the default index page, you can issue get/page.html http/1.1, which will request page.html. We also specified.
That didn't work for me. Oh. Oh, okay. What's an E-tag?
Of particular interest for us is discovering the type and version of the installed web server, Nginx/1.6.2. In this example, we communicated with a web server, so we used basic HTTP commands. If we connect to a mail server, we need to use proper commands based on the protocol, such as SMTP and POP3.
I'm gonna get this done.
Netcat or simply NC has different applications that can be of great value to a pentester. Netcat supports both TCP and UDP protocols. It can function as a client that connects to a listening port. Alternatively, it can act as a server that listens on a port of your choice. Hence, it is a convenient tool that you can use as a simple client or server over TCP or UDP. First, you can connect to a server, as you did with Telnet, to collect its spanner using NC machine_IP.
What is the difference between Telnet and... What port? Let's see. Okay. What's port 80? It's not that. Oops. God damn it. There we go. Fuck.
In the terminal shown above, we use Netcat to connect to 10.201.81.18 port 80 using NC 10.201.81.1880. Next, we issued a GET for the default page using get/http/1.1. We are specifying to the target server that our client supports HTTP version 1.1. Finally, we need to give a name to our host, so we added on a new line, host, netcat. You can name your host anything as this has no impact on this exercise. Based on the output server, Nginx/1.6.2 we received, we can tell that on port 80, we have Nginx version 1.6.2 listening for incoming connections. You can use
I didn't get that. I got something 1.2.
Netcat to listen on a TCP port and connect to a listening port on another system. On the server system, where you want to open a port and listen on it, you can issue NCLP 1234 or better yet, NCVNLP 1234, which
What's P? Listening port. Specify the port numbers last. VN.
Notes: the option P should appear just before the port number you want to listen on. The option then will avoid DNS lookups and warnings. Port numbers less than 1024 require root privileges to listen on. On the client side, you would issue NC10. On the client side, you would issue NC 10.201.81.18 port_number. Here is an example of using NC to echo. After you successfully establish a connection to the server, whatever you type on the client side will be echoed on the server side and vice versa. Consider the following example. On the server side, we will listen on port 1234.
Oh, I gotta finish this real quick.
On the client side, you would issue NC 10.201.81.18 port_number. Here's an example of using NC to echo. After you successfully establish a connection to the server, whatever you type on the client side will be echoed on the server side and vice versa. Consider the following example. On the server side, we will listen on port 1234. We can achieve this with the command ncvnlp 1234, same as nclvnp 1234. In our case, the listening server has the IP address 10.201.81.18, so we can connect to it from the client side by executing nc 10.201.81.18 1234. This setup would echo whatever you type on one side to the other side of the TCP tunnel. You can find a recording of the process below. Note that the listening server is on the left side of the screen.
I'm gonna try that, but VNLP 1, 2. I'm not trying to run the ASD command. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I don't know. I'm fucking with it.
In this room, we have covered many various tools. It is easy to put a few of them together via a shell script to build a primitive network and system scanner. You can use traceroute to map the path to the target, ping to check if the target system responds to ICMP echo, and telnet to check which ports are open and reachable by attempting to connect to them. Available scanners do this at much more advanced and sophisticated levels, as we will see in the next 4 rooms with map. Command example ping ping C10 10.201.81.
Huh. That wasn't too bad. That was pretty cool. Tell me about your bill for this. That was pretty interesting. I like that. Oh, so tomorrow looks like we'll do some Nmap. Well, alright guys, let's see. Tomorrow we're gonna do Nmap, live host discovery. I'll be in the top 1% soon. Got 2 rooms out of 5. Well, alright guys.